Okay, right, I think we're ready to go. Hopefully my audio isn't too loud for the music. I'll just turn that down a little bit. There we go. Keep that in the background there. All right, and so we're going to be working on this here corn blood crusher. So I've got to paint up a bit more of this guy on the top here. So the blood crusher is more or less done. I could do a bit more detailing in it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna bother. I will do this little bit of the hair thing that's hanging down here. I may decide to recolor the mouth or something like that. But I'm gonna put in the ground dirt first before I do that. But before we get on with that, we've got to try and finish this rider here. So is the horn blowing dude. Yeah. And we'll kind of give that one a go. You know what? Tempted to just play around with. Ooh, too much exposure. Boing. Is that too dark? I think that's all right, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's a pretty good color. I'm just trying to make sure my camera's on the best settings to be able to see it. The red is very, very bright, and so it kind of bleeds out the whole screen just because of its brightness. I've got to blend in the horns as well. But I'm thinking all these spots, to try and make it all stand out, I'm going to match them with the green that we've got going on here. So that's where I'm going to start. See if it looks any good. If not, then I'm going to have to redo it somehow. Yeah. So I'm going to need this here green first. And we'll get some of this on. Go. And we'll use our fine detailing brush. Okay, I'm trying to try and make sure I stay in shot. That's the important thing right now. Alright, this is just a bit of a time-consuming pain, because I like to do that to myself. Ah, okay. So my wife's just come home from work. Oh, 大丈夫です。うん。So yeah, so it was just me and my daughter this afternoon. We managed to get all of her homework finished, had a shower, had dinner. It was a nice evening. Got her to bed, managed to read her a little book, and then she was off to sleep, leaving me to then set up for the stream tonight. So that was nice. Okay, just doing this arm. I'm kind of liking just having these little green spots. It's a small effect, but it just helps everything kind of stand out a bit. I was contemplating, do I do the purple or yellow? Yellow didn't really stand out enough, so I wasn't too keen on that. So I was thinking, oh, do I do So I do purple, but then I think the whole model gets a bit too busy. I think we can kind of stick with the red and the green and just do that as a contrast. Oh yeah, I quite like that. Bit messy there. To try and maybe clean this up later. I may have to actually put up my goggles just to make this a little bit easier to see. I'm a bit worried my goggles are gonna just block the screen though. I have to wait and I have to try and see. Let's just give it a go. Yeah, there we go, there's the goggles. I'll be able to see in a minute once my stream catches up with me. Seems okay. I don't think my goggles are getting in the way. I'm trying to kind of keep an eye on the stream, but one of my screens is just showing the stream, but it's not catching up at all. There we go. So once these guys are all finished, I'm gonna plan to just sell them. Decided I don't want to sell any of my unpainted kits. I would like to try and take the opportunity to paint them just for practice, so I can experiment as much as I like and then just sell them. So the initial, I guess the initial layer, what was I going to say? Oh my God. I'm having that moment where I'm just like, I don't know what I was going to say. So, oh well. Something about the first layer. I think I was going to talk about the airbrush. Oh dear, getting old and my memory's going funny. It's not good. Starting to feel me age. once these guys are done, I'll be back onto the infinity stuff again. Still got lots of infinity to paint, but I thought this would be a nice challenge to just try out the airbrush, which was kind of fun to do. But now, to be honest, like I end up spending just as long painting, because now I'm just doing all the detail work, and I kind of look at the airbrush thing and I'm like, oh, I guess I need more detail here and here and here. I'm going to try and not spend too long on these guys. I'm screwing up my brush positioning right now. There we go. Right, that's all of the body spots. Now to do the top of his head. I don't think I really need to do any more in terms of colors for these spots. I was thinking, do I add on a brighter green? But they're so small, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, unless I was trying to do a really careful job. And to be honest, I got a bunch of old lines I didn't get rid of when I put these things together so many years ago, so I can't be too perfect anyway. Right. That's all right. I think that's okay. So we've got all the green on there now. The next part we can do. So basically the body part is kind of done there. I think what we do next is we're going to blend the black and the red a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go over black with all of the areas that we need detailing on. So I've got to decide how I'm going to do the horn. So obviously this is going to be the gold around the edge, but what this bit is going to be like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to paint it all black to begin with anyway. I'm going to do the back of the horns as well. I think I want to try and blend first to see how that's going to look, and we'll go from there. So we're going to need some black, we're going to need some reds. So first, here's me black. And then we'll play around with a couple of reds. I think I'm going to use some of my nocturnal ones. Let's use the Sanctuary Red. It's a nice strong red. I think that will work for us. And then I think we're going to just stick with this one for now. Maybe some Inferno Red. To be honest, I'm not sure if we need the Inferno Red, but I'll put it on the palette anyway. I'm going to take a little bit of black there, take a little bit of this red, mix in a little bit, get a little bit of water in there as well, maybe a touch more. I want it fairly thin. There we go. I'm going to try to blend these across. To be honest, I probably went a bit too far with the black in the first place. But we'll figure that one out as we go along with this. Now what we can do is we can always bring in some of the red and kind of balance it across. Put in a little bit of red. Get a touch of that water. Get that a little bit thin. I might be able to just use that in a fairly transparent layer to blend that one down, to be honest. We just pull that up through there, and it starts to blend. Yeah, I can see a blend coming through there. I think we just use the red, just thin down. And then, yeah, I think we're seeing already a bit of a blend there, which is working out for me. Again, just a simple one. Nothing crazy. We just get that bit in there. Just going to build a bit of that red into the black, so it's not just pure black all the time. And that's kind of nice. Then it's tied together a little bit more. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how that looks. It's a simple, just a very simple effect. Nothing crazy. On the underside, just gonna match it. So do one. So what we'll do is we'll just go over all of this bit with the black first, let that dry, and then we can blend some of that in. I can probably use a bigger brush for this. I think I will. Just get this done faster. I'm using a very small brush, it's taking forever. Not the most effective way of doing it. Okay. We're just going to let that dry, and then we can start blending that all in. Okay, let's just paint this horn black as well, and then we're on our way. Do a touch more water in there just to thin it down, keep it fluid on the brush so we can kind of coat it a little faster with a thinner coat. Just be careful not to go too thin, but a couple of coats of this should be good. Just gotta leave it to dry for a moment. go. Okay, so all of that is black. I've got to try and get in between his fingers as well there. And then once that's dry, we're going to go over with a metal color. We're doing true metallic metals with this one. Keep it simple. Okay. Right, I think that covers all of the bits that we need black, basically. I'm just going to get a touch of black onto the end of my fine brush, and we're going to try and go there we go. You can actually, let's come out, okay. All right, so there's our horn blower. I just need to do the metallic parts, pretty much. To be honest, I shouldn't be handling him by his feet so much. It's rubbing off on my hands. I'll have to touch him up later. Okay, so one of the things is we're going to come back to this big old dude here. I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do the base. I'm going to put in some mud for it to be running in, and kind of leave that to dry, and then we'll come back to our rider and we'll work on the rider, and then hopefully we'll basically have the first model finished that way. So I'm going to need my big pot of mud. Boom. This thing, thick mud acrylic. And we're just going to slather this onto the base using an old brush. I don't need them anymore. I do need a little coffee. There we go. Right, and old brush time. Needs me an old brush over here. I need a fairly stiff brush, and you know what? This will probably work out because I can kind of hopefully control it and shape it with this one. So I'm just going to get a big old lump of this. Got to just be careful of the work that's already been done there. Ah, hello Linda. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's these are kind of cool models. I've had them in my collection for a long time and I never got around to painting them. And these are kind of like the GW models, Games Workshop models that I have. I just don't play Games Workshop games anymore. I just can't. I don't play often enough to be able to keep up, and it costs too much in just buying the bloody rules alone. So I'm looking at selling all my kind of GW stuff. As much as I love the models, it's just taking up a lot of space and I don't use them, and the ones that I do have painted are of a very poor quality because it's when I was still very early in my painting journey. But the ones which I haven't painted up, I was like, oh, you know what, I'll try and paint them up. And once they're painted, I'll try and just sell them. see if anyone actually wants them. And then that kind of clears up some space, gives me a bit of money to buy other supplies and things, and yeah, it'd be kind of fun. This stuff is wonderfully goopy. You gotta just be careful where you kind of place it, to be honest. But it's fun to play around with. But yeah, this is a juggernaut of corn. It's like a giant demon bull. And then it's being ridden by these little demons called bloodletters. And they are known as, like the unit as a whole is known as a blood crusher. Don't quite know how that works because I feel like blood is difficult to crush blood. But it sounds cool. I think that's what they're going for. I'm being as lazy as possible with the base by just having a kind of this mud stuff, but we can spruce up the mud a little bit afterwards. Let's come around the other side again. So I've got 3 of these guys to kind of do. Hopefully eventually get them all done. Taking a bit longer than I was anticipating in some ways, but I should have anticipated it because it's me here that's painting them. I'm not known for my speed when it comes to painting models, but I think that's a good thing. That's what's helped me actually grow as a painter. I'm not in a rush to get things done. I'll be a bit lazy in places, but generally I'm trying to get better as a painter and kind of doing new things and trying new approaches is kind of slow but good overall progress. Yeah, just kind of get this nice earthy texture going. this base fully covered. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you're listening or just watching in the background with the audio turned off, but I hope you're doing well, Linda. Are you doing some of your knitting or anything like that at the moment? Or and I think before you were making something for maybe one of your family members. Did you get to finish that thing, or is it still in progress? I think I'm going to have to try and do all 3 of these at the same time, because when I'm finished I want to clean the brush a little bit, and I don't want to mucky up my water that I'm using for painting. So I might as well try and do all of these guys at once in terms of getting their bases done. Yes, hey, I'm a slow painter as well, so no worries there. Do you think you'll be done in time for Christmas, or just done when it's done? I tend to be a done when it's done type of person. And when it comes to my hobby and things, deadlines aren't really something that work for me. That would be nice. Okay, I think we've kind of got the base of the of all of that earth on there, and hopefully that will make a nice contrast to all of our reds and things. So yeah, and we will be able to decorate it later. For now though, we're gonna leave that to dry, because we will also put like a bit of a coat of wash over it, just to kind of give it a bit more depth as well. So I've got a few more of these to do, one of which is off his base and the other one is on. So I'm going to do the one that's on the base first whilst we're kind of doing them. So there we go. This is what they look like after the airbrushing, but without painting any details. This one will be a bit easier to coat over. This stuff has a lovely texture. So yeah, the airbrush was kind of fun to use to kind of create some of these color blends of the kind of the purple into the red to the orange. It's all very, very red because I based it red first with the the initial colors of red, and then shot from below with the purple, and then kind of shot anywhere where there's kind of like cracks and depths and things. And then whenever there was like a large surface, then I would also do a pass of kind of orange as well, yellow orange, just to kind of highlight those areas. I'm still kind of learning how to use the airbrush with inks and how to get the best effect. I feel like I could get more out of it if I really wanted to, but as a start, I thought it was all right. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a good enough paint job with these guys to sell this thing at any kind of a profit. But I'll try putting it on the selling site for a little bit dearer than what I paid for initially, but not much more. And just see if there's any takers. I can just leave it on there for a while. So I'm going to use kind of just a selling site here in Japan and just kind of sell it domestically. I do still want to do a YouTube video on kind of selling, kind of painting up some of my old hammer models and then kind of selling them on eBay just to see how much I get and make a video out of it, like just auction it off and see how much I get. That'll be kind of fun. Not really bothered how much I get for the models, but it'd be kind of interesting just to see how well they sell for and kind of put two models up against one another, see which one sells for the most. Get really goopy on the brush. Yeah, it's more so just about getting the time to do it all. I've got the plans, but just not the time. Right now it's been very busy at work, so I haven't been able to really make any videos for my YouTube very much, which is a shame. I feel a bit bad for my Patreons. I'm trying to keep them in the loop as best as I can. I've got some things in the works. It's just finding the time to record and write and do all those parts without losing touch of the painting side of things as well. That it has been a few, to be honest, like just for my own sanity, just taking a few breaks just to watch a few TV series recently has been kind of just a nice break, but I feel guilty about it. So right now I've had my fill, so I'm like, okay, time to get back onto doing some work. So that'd be good. But yeah, I've been what was it? The most recent series I watched was I think the Apple TV series Severance, and I really enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. Very interesting concept, and how they executed it as well was really cool. So and I think they're making a second series of that as well, because it ended and I was like, oh my god, damn it, you can't end like this. That was, yeah, it was a good first season. Also finished watching The Expanse on Amazon. That was also very good. And finished off the other Apple TV series I was watching, C. So I've kind of like finished off a bunch of stuff. I don't really see anything that I really want to get into at the moment. Just watching some Mythic Quest as it comes out each week on Apple TV, and that's it for me really. So I don't need to watch anything more. So now it's time to get back to doing some actual work. When I say actual work, I mean have fun painting models and trying to make videos about it. Or on the subject of the models anyway. Okay, we're going to try for this last one, just coating this one, and then we'll try and pin the model perhaps through it and see how that goes. So this one is more of a experiment. We can actually play around with this one a little bit more when it comes to actually designing the base. Should be kind of fun, because we can pin the model through the base. The other two were just stuck so firmly on their base, I couldn't take them off. So they're going to stay on their base, and I'll just work around it. So much faster to put it on when there's no model in the way. You can kind of sculpt it a bit as well. Care to elaborate on the O? There we go. And looking wonderfully goopy. Oh yeah, it's easier when there's no model on there. So I used to just always paint the base with the model on top, and so a bunch of my models are kind of already stuck on bases or kind of already prepared and things like that. So those ones I just have to deal with it. But lately I tried to do more a bit more pinning to bases, so that I can make the base separate from the model, and then it makes it a little faster and easier, and it also looks a bit better as well. So yeah, and then that's just kind of like nice rough textured ground. And then yeah, the model itself is this one here. So I've got it pinned at the moment, and I can paint it whilst it's connected to this block. So yeah, he's pretty cool. He'll be fun to paint. I'm starting with the easy one, which is just a horn. So we go. That's that bit done. All right, I've got to go because I'm now cleaning the excuse me. I'll leave that to the side for now. Because I'm now kind of cleaning this brush off in this water that I was going to be using for my paints. I don't want to use this for my paints now because it's going to have lots of bits in, because it's all just like, yeah, it's all grimy and yucky. I don't know why I'm coughing. Okay, so I'm going to have to go and change this water, so I'm going to take a 3-minute break, perhaps 3 minutes 30 seconds break. We'll see how exact that is. As I just change over the water and get myself a new drink as well. Okay, and then we'll be back. When we come back, I'm gonna continue with the little demon with his horn and work on that. So I'm just gonna I might as well just leave this screen on. That's fine, and I'll just pop him there. Yeah, go and make some coffee. It's a good idea. Pop this guy on there. Yay. You can kind of see that there. Eesh. There we are. All right. That's that one. Right, I'm going to be back in a mo. Why have you gone black? Just for some reason on my streaming video, it was just a black screen. So I'm like, oh no, what's happened? Hopefully though, it's fine. I think it is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Good. All right, I'm gonna go and change over this water then, and I'll be back in just a mo. Okie dokie. All right, you go there, and you're gonna come and join me over here. So there we go, and we're back again. Alright, I'm gonna continue with this little dude here. I'm gonna just pop you over there, keep you out of the way. Okay. Now, what we're gonna need now is we're gonna need some of the, oh, you know what? We're gonna have to blend the back of this dude here. Now I'm going to take some of that red, take a little bit of water in there, mix that down. Bit of that blend going. Okay, just let that dry and we'll come back and we'll do another pass. In the meantime, we've got to add on the metal color. So for that, we're going to be using gun metal from Vallejo Game Color. And that, oops, there we go. Let me just squeeze that one out. There we go. And this one is just like a straight up metal color. Has little metallic pigments, metallic flakes in it to create an actual metallic look. So it actually shines. Now I do pass over the whole thing first, because the silver is quite a strong color. So even over black, it's quite dominant. Now, the gold paint is not as dominant. So, having the silver on there first means that you've already got kind of like a metallic base coat. And then hitting it with the gold really shines through that. First, we're just gonna get all of that nicely painted there. Then we've got the little ring he's holding. I'm not decided on what color I'm going to do the ring, whether it's going to be silver or kind of like, well, I say silver, I mean like an iron or a an iron kind of color or a gold. the actual collar of the demon is gold. I'm kind of imagining it's supposed to be kind of a bronze, but meh. It's fine. There we go. I think I'll probably do it gold just so it kind of hides it a little bit with the collar. So my worry is it's not going to go directly on very well. So now we've got this great big horn to paint. Now the question is, do we do it all? Are we doing it all in silver or just this part? That's the bit I'm undecided on. I'm feeling like I might actually paint it all silver and then just parts of it will be gold. I think that would be good. Methinks. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But what we're going to do, I'm going to use a bigger brush. So that as I go over it, or we're not actually going into a lot of the depth. We're kind of doing a slight dry brushing, I guess. Not really dry brushing, but we're not going into the depths of like all those symbols, so that we can keep that black and kind of stand out through the metal colors that we've got going here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Got a nice big metal thingy-me-jiggy horn. That's that initial part done there. Then we just need to add in the gold. And once we've added in the gold, we're basically done with the model, more or less. We've got to put in the shades and things like that. So we've got to let that dry and then we can do the shades. But let's go and get our gold. I've got Retributor armor from Citadel. This is a pretty good gold. And if I try using you. So yeah, you can kind of see that nice gold coming through. Right, so there's his gauntlet. It's got some nice colouring in there now. My voice is going a bit weird. Now let's do the horn. So yeah, normally if you put this gold straight onto black, you probably need to do a few coats and it wouldn't be very even. But with the silver as a base, the gold just really shines. You don't need more than one coat. Go over that with black again. A bit messy on the front. Now, what you could do is have each of the runes glowing. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I want to keep the horn fairly simple. may end up doing a glow on them eventually. I feel like it does need something a little bit more just to make that horn something special. So I might try and do a little glow for those symbols. But otherwise, the main bit of this one is mostly done. I have to do a wash on him. But for the time being, I think what we do is we put him on. We can put him on the actual Juggernaut, the actual model. And then that's going to look all right. So the base is still drying, of course, so I can't really do too much there. But we're going to want to put you on roughly there. So that is where the model is at the moment. The blood letter writing on top. I got, you know, the blood letter and the Juggernaut are of a very similar color, so they do blend in with one another, but the blood letter is a little bit lighter, and I kind of like that. So it's not too bad. And like with the green on there as well, it kind of helps them stand out a bit more. Black horns came out all right. Yeah, it's just a kind of a simple paint job, but it's come out okay. I think for my experiment with airbrushing, it's a nice start. This is good practice for me for when I'm going to be getting some really big models to paint in the near future. But yeah, once the base is dry, we'll kind of make the base look a little bit nicer. I got to paint up a bit more of the Juggernaut on the bottom, and I got to do a bit of detailing, a little bit of detail work. But otherwise, most of the legwork for this one is done. Then I've just got to do it 2 more times for the other models, which is the bit where I'm like, don't want to do that. So I'm actually going to stick this guy to the Juggernaut itself. I'm hoping it will stick. So you're going to come out. I think you. Just clear the nozzle a little bit, but I think it's coming. Here we go. I'm a bit worried it's going to all splurge at some point. Yee. Sorry, I'm just playing around with glue at the moment. Oh, it's not wanting to come out very much. It's very slow going on this glue. Cheap super glue, to be honest. Well, actually, I got some plastic. I got the plastic cement, I think, but to be honest, because I've already got the paint on there, I think it's gonna go. No problem. You take care. I'm pretty much finished up anyway. So thank you very much for joining me, Linda. It was an absolute pleasure to have you there. You take care. Have a lovely, lovely day. I'm just going to try and finish this little bit. This glue's kind of a no-go. I think I got some more. I got some proper glue. This is better. Okay. There we go. Leave him to dry, and we're going to be solid with that. And there, I'm going to have to leave the stream for tonight at that. Okay, get 2 more of those guys done, I'll be happy as anything. But yeah, thank you very much, Linda. You take care. I'm going to finish up the stream anyway at this point. I'll take maybe some nicer photos of this and put it up on my Instagram. It's good to kind of get that guy mostly done. I've just got to let these bases dry before I really continue with any more work on them. And then I've got to go and start working on these other 2 and get them all ready and primed and painted and whatnot. That'd be great. So yeah, thank you very much and have a lovely day. Take care and bye bye.